December 2018. This is episode number 33 of the Crystal Chronicles, your official, unofficial Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia podcast. My name is Pierre, and I'm joined as usual by my co-hosts and good friends Mark and Mino. Good evening, guys.
Good evening, Pierre and Mino and Twitchers and Dissidians. Good to see everybody.
Hey everyone, it's been a while, it feels like.
A while being 2 weeks, I think. I'm so sorry about that. We had some family health related issues here on my end just the day of before the podcast, so we had to take care of that. Everything is good. Everybody's in good health now, so sorry about the last minute cancellation. We try to avoid these things because they're not cool. So thank you for your understanding, all. Before we get into the Dissidia stuff, I bought Super Smash Brother like Ultimate or whatever it's called on the Switch today, and I wanted to give you guys a cool review about how great Cloud is in that game. But again, I hadn't realized because I don't read anything or I don't prepare much. I hadn't realized that all of those fighters they announced, you only start with like a roster of 7. So yeah, no Cloud.
Yeah, you start with the original 8 that was in the very first Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, all
I
of
thought
the Smash Brothers have been like that, haven't they? You have to unlock the characters.
Not as little as this one since
this is-
64. This is like 8 people. So it's like the original Smashers, which is Mario, Samus, Pikachu, Link,
Captain
Kirby.
No, wasn't in the first one.
Who?
Fuck was in the second one.
Captain Falcon?
No, you said fuck.
Fox,
Yeah.
Star Fox.
No, don't worry.
Fox is in the first one, right?
Oh, you said Fox. Jeez, I'm
Star
sorry.
Fox.
Fox was in the first one.
Yeah. Anyways, the original 8. But unlocking's a pain, but
I don't know. I just unlocked Ness. So anyway, yeah, I wanted to like start this saying, "Oh, Cloud is so awesome," and that's how he's doing. And nope. So yeah, it's
Good review. Good review.
I could go into depth, but this is not a Smash Brothers podcast, so I will.
It's not. Well, good evening, everyone. That was okay. Moving on. So, to go out with the weather outside in Dissidia, we have the Winter Festival going on. Since we haven't had a show in 2 weeks, we're free to talk about the anniversary campaign draw snafu that happened. They had to pull it off hours after it was made live, basically because from what I understand, when people went to poll for the free poll or the half price poll, it basically took like 5,000 gems or something.
Charge them full price, yeah.
Yep. So and it took like what, a whole week to get that fixed easily. So
It seemed like it took, a week, 10 days, maybe.
But the good news is it started later, but it's gonna end later. So
How many of your free draws have you forgotten to do?
I've forgotten 3.
I haven't done mine today, so let me see if we get anything.
I've been keeping track. I've even forgotten a daily because I was pretty busy last week, and I've been pretty absent-minded about this.
But for what it's worth, I didn't get anything great.
Yeah, I just got a unit 4-star. So I pulled King's 35 CP, which is pretty good.
That's good. I still haven't gotten a 5-star yet, so.
Yeah.
All right. Other than that, you have your 10 daily winter missions, whatever. Have you guys gotten all the rewards out of that?
Yeah, somebody keeps telling me that there's black waltzes. I
have like 3 a day, easy.
Dude, black waltzes are so great. I think with the double EXP, they give you almost a full level.
So I do know the XP value. So if you're using the double XP, most of the missions, so the turtle, the dragon, the 2 birds, the 3 bombs, those are around 3,500 XP with the double XP item. The Black Waltz is over 18,000 XP.
Yeah, and don't forget that the what's it called? Like the special items that you get throughout the 7 that gives you like 15 minutes of double XP, gil, or items. They're only valid for a couple
Yes.
of days, so don't let them don't bundle them. Don't keep them for the better days, because once the event is over, I think it's the end of the month, they're gone forever. So don't
Yeah,
pile them up.
I've claimed everything in the token shop, and now I am like using it to get crystals,
Same.
like regular crystals,
Yeah, I needed them to
normal crystals.
level up Alisaie this week. Actually, today I spent them all just to get her to crystal level
Crystal level what?
51.
Yeah. Yeah, I used them to get armor and weapon material. So I'm still lacking them. Other than that, we had two game updates on the 5th and on the 6th. Mark, you remember what happened exactly on these dates? Because I don't have it anywhere handy.
I don't remember what happened. I can probably.
Okay, well, you wrote down the outlines. So I thought, oh, he knows. I mean, it's fresh in memory. So
it's not in my memory at all what those two updates were for.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, and it's not in our newsfeed anymore.
Nope. So things change and the game is better. Quality of life and all of
yeah,
that.
it's great.
Let's
It's
just go
great.
with that. I know there was like a tooltip problem with Terra's ability. It said it was giving like a defense down. I mean something that she puts on the monsters. The word is escaping me, but a somebody help me here.
I don't know what you're talking about. Was it one of the speed down, defense down, attack down? One of the
debuff. That's the word I was looking for. So instead of a speed down debuff, it's actually put. I mean, the tooltip said that it was putting a defense down debuff, but it was actually a speed down debuff. So there you go. That's been fixed as of this morning. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. And then last night with the event, we got Terra's costume. Who got the costume?
Oh, I bought it. I bought it instantly. I didn't even think. I told.
Didn't even think about it.
Josh. Yeah, I was like, fastest I've ever spent money on this game.
Did you just like pop your costume cherry, or did you get the other?
No, I collect all the costumes, but usually I either like think about it or don't buy it right away, or But like I turned it on within the minute it was purchased.
Yep.
It's done.
Purchased and spent, or
love that green hair. I did. I felt like because of that, I had to pull one pull on that banner, which I wasn't planning to spend any gems on.
Yeah, you're full of poop,
because
man.
of that.
Oh, Mark, that's the typical trap. That's how they get you. They're like, here's a deal, and then you spend it, and it's like you never got it at all because you never planned to spend those gems in the first place.
Well, I didn't spend them all. I just spent one pull worth.
See.
Sorry, to answer chat really quick, Pierre. First, God of Cloud wanted to clarify that it was defense down. It was showing defense down. It was actually speed down for Terra on the Meteor.
Yeah.
And then Kreese said, I haven't bought the Terra's costume yet. Still torn on it. I have the other costumes. I think that if you're not a big Terra fan, this is probably the most skippable costume because I think it changes the least when it comes to
she spends less now.
Yeah, but I mean, like, in terms of model work, I think they just removed the tights and changed the hair color.
The whole suit is different. Look, I'm
oh, really? Is it?
It's the hairs,
her shoes are different. Her costume.
Oh, clearly I don't stare at these models enough. If that's the case, then never mind. They did
it's a
put
whole
in
new
work.
Minoyo. I saw something on Reddit today. It was like a little diagram chart about the Alisaie event. It's like, go in. Is the boss dead? Yes or no? No. Manoyo, go back. Is the boss dead? Yes. Next battle. It kind of just felt like it goes round and round and round. But Kreese, if you got the other costumes, how can you even be thinking about it? I mean, you bought like a tuxedo for Mech Useless Face. you bought, I don't know what other costumes we had. Well,
Rob's a
Yuna.
costume, I guess. Oh, Yuna costume, right?
That's
She's
right. That was Yuna. But to me, that's a no-brainer. That costume is so much better than the original. So, all right. Let's see. You guys want to talk about? We kind of skipped Noctis altogether. You guys want to just go over him real quick? Say what was the fuzz about? Was he really good? Will he be good for those of us that actually pulled on him? And then we move on and forget about him.
Yeah, I guess. Do you want to cover the event at all, Mark? Because I don't know. It's
I don't
gone
think
now. I
it's
don't
worth
know
it.
if
We'll
we
cover
should.
it when the last
Yeah.
chapter comes up.
There was an event. I don't think it was super hard. Who is the boss in that event? I don't even remember.
Phantom Male who hid.
Oh
his
yeah,
turn.
that was annoying. That was super annoying.
I know that some people struggled on it. Like it wasn't a cakewalk, I guess. Especially if you didn't have Rem or Noctis. But so how did you end up liking Noctis, Mark? Because you got everything.
I do not have his EX weapon. I accidentally used a ticket. I was what was I pulling for? I was using tickets on something, and I accidentally pulled on that banner instead of another banner, and so I accidentally got his 35 CP. So I do have his 35 and his 15, but I did not pull his. I didn't pull on the banner at all, really. Besides that one ticket, so I do not have his EX. But I've used him, a dozen or 100 times as a friend summon. So. Yeah, I mean, he seems to be okay. He has some good utility. I'm not overly impressed, but definitely DPS. So he'll be, he'll fall down on the list pretty quick as other DPS characters kind of overshadow him. But
yeah, I like him. I'll get into it later. I know a lot of people are expecting me to talk about Alisaie, and I was gonna say I feel like Noctis is the good level of complex, and Alisaie is the bad level of complex, and I'll get into that later.
We will talk about that later.
Yeah,
because that's an understatement.
right. But like, I feel like Noctis was a good level of like, oh, he has all this versatility. He can do all these things. He's kind of neat, and he's strong for right now. He's definitely in the top 5 characters right now, easily. But yeah, how long he'll stay there is up in the air.
All right.
Yeah, I agree.
Snow Lost Chapter. Those freaking turtles. I'm actually having some difficulty, like getting past the. What is it? Let me check real quick. Lost Chapter. Snow. See, I'm at. I cleared the part 2, but yeah, the freaking turtle is just a bit of a pain in the ass. I might try it with like Pabalimo or something. Have you guys cleared the entire chapter yet?
Wait, are we talking about the event?
Chapter for Snow.
Oh, the Lost Chapter for Snow. Yep. Yeah, that one. I think I was talking to Mark. I was like, I had to try harder than I thought I would here because I was used to once Awakening hit, I was just hitting buttons and the Awakening characters were killing everything. This time I actually had to plan. Because I wasn't studying the rotation, and there's this thing where the first time he pops out of his shell, he's gonna do the great geyser that kills anyone under 4,900 HP, which could be Terra or something if you don't do something about it. So if you prepare for it, it's fine. And I hear some people can kill the turtle before he even does that, but I had to mess around a bit. I think I ended up bringing Lilithset to lower his max brave so he didn't destroy my face. But how did you deal with it, Mark?
Mark?
Yeah, I'm trying. I did not keep a screenshot of that. Besides the fact that I completed it. So let me see if I wrote anything. I have literally no conception now that you ask. That event seems like it's so long ago.
I remember the event because I actually liked the fight. The turtle always got 2 turns in a row, which is pretty interesting. And
here I did write down my thing, thankfully, on Twitter. So thank you, Twitter, for keeping track of what I did and why. So I used Von, Terra, and Lilizette with Afreet and Cloud for the score, and I used Cloud, Lilizette, and Snow with Afreet and Fred Noctis for the snow job. You heard me.
Yeah. we just tried to pretend we hadn't.
All in all, I think it's decently challenging. I like the fight, but I think that a lot of people have the firepower to just ignore the mechanics. Especially if you're packing Terra and she ignores all the defenses. So it'll get easier with time, I think.
But how does Terra ignore all the defense?
Meltdown?
Well, yeah,
Meltdown.
with Meltdown, but if her Brave is not like halfway there, she's still gonna build that Brave a bit.
But she has Brave Regen if you have her other buffs on her.
Yeah, Brave Regen, I think if you have the extension on Meltdown, and also I brought Lilizette as a battery to help her out.
Right,
so.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, so yeah, if you have a Brave battery, and that's going to be, of course, a potential theme here in the coming weeks and months is that using the Brave batteries. And I'm already seeing people use Yuna, which I don't think any of us have awakened Yuna fully, but
I still think
podcasters on this very stream being very
I still
against
stand
the
by
concept.
it. I still stand by it. I still think Lilizette is a better battery than Yuna. People argue that Yuna has more charges, but it's still less per turn. I don't think you need that many. I'm still standing by it. Oh, and I wanted to bring up, since this is a thing now, how easy was it for you to carry Snow through his
well, like I said, I brought like a whole different team for the carry. So I brought Cloud and Lizette and a Noctis, and I was able to carry Snow through. And of course, this Alisaie event, I was able to bring her through really, really easily.
Oh, so easily. So many people are reporting.
I almost, because I wasn't really playing seriously, because I got the high score for that event. We'll go through that, but I almost got the high score, all of the score requirements with Alisaie at like level 40. I got like 95,000 points.
Oh, wow.
No, I did it with a 1-1 Alisaie. That's how easy it is, Pierre. We'll walk you through it when we get. It's just as soon as I hit the boss, you just switch her out for another Terra, and it's done. That's all you need.
It's pretty much what you do. Yeah.
Wow. All right, I'm looking forward to that. Did you guys pull on the Snow banner?
There was a banner for Snow?
Yeah, and it wasn't half price, if I'm not mistaken.
It was.
Wait, it was, right? Was it?
Was it?
Yeah, it was half price, I think.
Okay, good. Because I pull on every. Everyone should know. There. I pull once on every banner. Just you never know what you're gonna get.
There you go, half price.
Okay.
I see Mark didn't pull on it.
Yeah, clearly both of you didn't pull on it. I pulled on it.
No, I did. I'm a sucker for these things, but I have the memory of a goldfish, so.
Yeah, well, I looked at those 3 characters and I'm like, I don't need any of that stuff, so.
As long as there's a good chance I might get something I don't have, I'll pull. For example, I won't pull on the gun banner because the only thing I'm missing there is Balthier 35.
Right.
So, fuck it, even though it's half price.
Me too.
Hey, you don't care for it?
New is new, but the odds of me getting something new are less than 10%. So, forget it. Yeah. But the Snow one, I kind of wanted his 15 for completion's sake, and I think I was missing someone's 35 there too. So half price. I thought, why not?
All right. Trials of Bahamut. Now that was not a very hard fight.
Oh boy. Yeah. That's unfortunate. Can we talk about Bahamut? So Bahamut's power, if you're not familiar with it, is he increases Brave break damage.
Yeah,
correct?
I didn't understand the mechanic. It's how it's written. I didn't understand exactly what it's supposed to do.
Okay, so at max level, every time you break, you get 5% more of the break bonus, right? The break
Oh,
bonus is static for a fight. And then it's incremental. So the first time you break, you get the break bonus plus 5%. The second time, the break bonus plus 10%. And it'll keep going until it maxes at 100%. So it's extremely good because in the long fights, you're getting a ton of brave for breaking. And then even better is when you summon him, he multiplies all brave damage done by non-elemental effects by 1.8, which is, more than any summon can give you. And most of the attacks in the game are non-elemental, I believe.
yep.
So like Terra's meteor people are abusing.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean he's a fairly useful summon.
I think he's king of the summons until pretty much, unless you need something really specific. It's usually Bahamut and then maybe Ifrit or Brothers or Shiva if the fight caters to it.
So
But like if you're just going,
is the new Ifrit?
yeah, pretty much.
I see.
Yeah, because the damage is just, I mean, it's just adding that much more brave, basically, instead of adding 2 attack. So I'm sure someone's doing the math out there to figure out specifically.
Yeah.
But
I'm
yeah,
just-
no, I think overall, I think this is this is definitely one you want to invest in. Mine is level 19. I didn't quite get it to 20. I need 351 more. What are they called? Drake and Adamites, and then he'll be level 20. But
This was a
Yeah.
really fast farm for me because I just spent all the winter
those winter
festivals.
festival things are great for
Yeah.
this. Yeah. And
I'm actually running out of those, by the way. I don't have any stocked up anymore. I'm out of.
I've not done any stamina potions. I've just kind of done my once a day stamina on Bahamut, and I'm almost complete with that.
Yeah.
I do have those. I have quite a few items. I have 8, 8, and 9 of those special items left. So yeah. But yeah, the EX is a level 70 EX. It is Bahamut. He's I mean, it's
I think you were expecting more out of that
I
fight.
was. Actually, it surprised me because I think it heals the full halfway through the fight.
Yeah,
I was like,
it does
fuck?
heal. It does 2 Karajas. Yeah, so it heals himself fully.
Bastard. I didn't read the mechanics.
If it hadn't healed itself, then it would have died before it acted.
Wow.
Yeah, like what triggers the heal? I don't know.
I think just when it gets low on life, it triggers the
Okay.
heal. That may not be true, but again, I didn't read the mechanic either.
Yeah.
I just kind of went in and saw what it did. So, but it was not a difficult EX at all. I can't imagine anyone having problems with it. Everyone is buffed in World of Illusions. Everyone has their synergy bonus. If you got an EX weapon character, their weapons are buffed. It's just ridiculous. I mean, even if not, if you have a couple awakened characters, you're gonna tear through that without any problem.
I hear, if I remember correctly, Diablos X, which is coming after Diablos is next after Bahamut, is actually supposed to be difficult. But let's see how it shows up in GL, because we're just getting all kinds of weird stuff out of order now.
And yeah, because I mean we didn't get Trials of Bahamut. This is the regular event, not the permanent. So when we get the permanent, we'll probably be like a level 100 EX. But I think our last permanent was Alexander, and was that a level 100 or a level 90?
I want to say 90. I want to say they're not at 100s for those yet.
I want to say 90 too.
Only level 70. Yeah.
Oh.
Oof.
So yeah, those are definitely way behind anything that we're doing. There's a Radiant Artifacts for Snow Lost chapters that I haven't done. So make sure you do that, people, to get your gems. Don't be like me.
That's the first thing I check when the LC comes out.
5 days left. Yeah.
All right. So, there was no banner for that. Oh yeah, there was actually a banner that came with Trials of
Yeah.
Bahamut
Oh
with
yeah, the World of
Vaughn
Illusion.
on it.
I was
Oh,
gonna,
right. Thank you for bringing that up. Right. Everyone talks about it.
I was gonna
This
ask if
on
Mino
weapon.
pulled on
Yeah.
that.
Oh, of course I did, because I am a sheep and I want to raise Vaughn. And this weapon, the JP players swore by it that this is what elevated Vaughn into S status. I haven't played around with it too much, but all the people I know who pulled it say it makes a significant difference. You know, a 20% increase in attack and max brave for Vaughn apparently really does put him at a higher level. So if you really want to use Vaughn coming up, I would suggest doing so, pulling for this weapon. Um, he's not truly like top tier until his EX comes out, but you might as well prepare for it. I think this is supposed to considerably raise his power because it's an invisible buff too, so it'll stack with like everything else.
Right.
You just need to break somebody with Vaughn, and he gets 3 turns of plus 20% attack and max brave. And breaking with Vaughn is super easy, so should always be up on it.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that. Now moving on to the core of the subject, the Alisaie event. Now we had a special request. Dropman, aka Like a Sir on Twitter, wanted me to name out Alisaie's spells for some weird reason. So let's see. She is a red mage. Um, her abilities are Verero and Ver Thunder, which turns into Ver Stone and Ver Fire in that order whenever she uses them. Now, from what I'm reading, I thought her mechanic was very interesting, but from what I'm hearing, it kind of takes like a whole diagram chart to understand what's doing when, and then you have to do math and then all of that. What do you guys think about Alice?
Mark can go first.
Yeah, I think that your first intuition is that Square released on Twitter and I assume on Facebook a graph, like a visual.
I saw that. I was wondering. I was like, is that
I
really
shared it.
official?
I thought a player
That's
did
from-
that.
that is-
Yeah, I thought a player did that too, but
well,
I don't.
that's
I can't
from-
tell. I can't tell because it's.
They shared it from their Twitter.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if that's official. Like, if it is official, I think that's hilarious that
That's
Square
kinda sad.
needed to do that.
So yeah, regardless, they
We're
shared
gonna
it.
link it in the show notes.
Yeah, it is a
I still don't think it's a good diagram either because you have arrows going both ways and like text underneath explaining it. So you still need to like really study.
It is super complicated if you haven't played with Alisaie. She has she gets basically black mana and white mana. And so once you use one, so she has basically a white mage power and a black mage power. So the first problem I have is you need both of her weapons. So one weapon is not better than the other. Both weapons basically are necessary because one weapon increases one power, the other weapon increases the other power, and both powers are necessary for her to work. So you use one power, then it becomes another power, and then you get a special stack of dual cast, and then you get black mana or white mana, which allows you to use a special HP attack. Your HP attack turns into this special attack, depending on how much white mana and how much black mana you have. And then depending on how much you have, it lowers that. And so if you have enough, then you get the better one. If you have lower, then you get this much. But if you really want her even better powers, so you know the Vera Fire, Vera Thunder, Vera Flare, you have to have her fully awakened. So not only do you need her, 15 or 35, but you also need her fully awakened to even be playable. And then it's a nightmare to play this character.
I'm glad. I'm glad you're backing me up on this. I'll when it's my turn, there's gonna be a little mini rant. I think some of the people in chat are already noticing that, and in Discord they were messaging me because I put up this big post about Alisaie, and I got a lot of heat for it. But I'll get to it. But I'm glad that you are coming to your own conclusion in agreeing that this is such a ridiculously complicated character for very little gain. But yeah, continue.
Unless you're fighting a boss that does no damage and has a bazillion HP, I can't see any reason to play this character. She doesn't do any damage. She can do damage. That's not fair. So she can do quite a bit of damage if you spend like 6 turns, like, figuring out the math and doing, like, you have like an abacus and you're like putting the numbers in there and like moving it over, and like you got your like a calculator watch.
It's right over her head. I mean, it's not like
my Texas Instruments
track of the numbers on an abacus. It's over her head.
It's super confusing. I will say her costume changes depending on which weapon she has, so that's good.
Wait, really?
Yeah, if you equip her 35 CP, it's a little different. She has a little variation of her costume.
Like her clothes?
Like
her model?
Like part of her clothing changes, yeah.
I did not know that. That's a very interesting tidbit, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I would try it, except, and we'll talk about it later, but I got like 9 of the freaking 15 CP and nothing else, so poop.
Well, I have both of her weapons, and so I've been playing around.
Of course you do.
It's it's terrible.
All right, Mino.
Oh my God, no! This is so bad. Okay, I got. Okay, so chime in whenever you guys. I have too much to say about this character.
No, we're both on mute. We're giving you the floor. Take it away.
No. Well, first, I don't know if you guys saw my post, but I made a post, and it has like somebody said in the chat before we started. I've never seen this much salt on your thread since Kuja. And for Kuja, what I did was I fucked around and I said Kuja was a girl. That's all I did, and people got really, really mad. Well, apparently, Alisaie has a huge fan base I was not aware of, and people took this very personally because I said Alisaie is an unnecessarily complicated character for very, very little gain. Like, I think she ended the 60/60 era as one of the worst characters in the game for many, many reasons.
Just what do you mean she ended the 60/60 era?
Once everyone got level 60, once everyone got their awakening, she ranked near the bottom next to.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Ranked near the bottom next to Ida and Thancred, who were also at the bottom. So after
which is appropriate. They all belong together.
Yes. But she has so many limitations. Okay, so without going into a rotation, I want to point out one. All of her attacks are a single hit. So the most she can ever do is 9999 damage, right? In a single hit. That's a joke because we have so many characters who can already break that. For example, Terra has 15 hits on her meteor, and her meltdown doesn't rely on hits. So she can do over 9999 anytime she wants. Vaughn has 20 hits on his attacks. Noctis has several, everyone can do more damage than that. This 9999 cap is really bad because no matter how many stats you pump into her, that's her cap. And I think going forward in Awakenings, every character is going to get more than 1 hit on their skills, like every single one. So this cap is very, very limiting. And that already means the most she'll ever do is 9999. And also, you know how you have to do her skills in order to do the chain? The first level of each skill is just a brave attack too. It's not even a brave HP. So her damage is extremely limited. The second thing is she's very tied to elements, and she has to cover 4 elements in her rotation. If you fight any enemy that resists even one of those elements, well, her damage is garbage. She's not even going to do the 9999. As long as any one of her attacks are resisted, she's going to be doing garbage damage. And the other thing is, why even give her elements? Say you're fighting something weak to wind and you want to bring Alisaie, and you're like, I want to hit the wind weakness. Well, you can only do that once every 5 to 6 turns because you have to go through her entire rotation before you can reach that wind attack again. So you can't even bring her to exploit weaknesses. And then she's insanely fast, so she's going to eat up all your turns to do garbage damage. That's the short version.
Well, it helps. It helps if you bring Rem, because then she gets even more turns.
Right.
So that's what I did. I brought Rem in one run just to make sure Alisaie did. She was the only one acting, and that didn't help either.
We'll link in the show notes Mino's review that he posted on Reddit if you want the long version of his hate for Alisaie.
So hateful. I almost didn't post because after I was done typing it, I was like, "This is more a rant than it is a review." But I
really
did.
Not really.
Yeah. I did put in how her mono works and her rotation and everything. But it's just oof. This character has so little potential, and then I've gotten so many complaints, and this is fair. People were like, "But she's fun to play," and I was like, "That's great," but she's not a strong character. And then
our definitions of fun are different,
right? And then somebody I thought made a comment that was really great, and I'm gonna voice it here. Is they're like, if you're playing with an Alisaie in co-op and she gets disconnected, God help whoever has to control her. Because like God help whoever has to control her. And this rings even more true once she leaves and doesn't come back for a year. Like imagine a player who joins a month or two from now and they have to control an Alisaie and they're like, what the fuck is going on? Like I can't even do damage. Like I'm gonna fail this co-op because I don't know what's happening. Or an Alisaie with only one of her weapon, like just if she misses anything, if she, like Mark said, no awakening or missing one of her weapons, she's just completely useless, and it just really, really hurts. And go ahead. Did you want to say something?
Kreese on Twitch says that even though he thought the Kuja, he or she thought the Kuja evaluation was hilarious, the Alisaie evaluation reads as if you hated Red Mage in general.
I mean, I guess a lot of people. I guess a lot of people got that vibe, and I think I was trying to respond. I never said MMOs or FF14 was bad. I just said what I said is the mechanics don't translate well here. And I remember talking to some people. Oh, go ahead, Mark.
No, I think you're right because I mean when we were talking about it, I was thinking in my head the idea of a red mage in this game more physical and magic because red mage doesn't translate in terms of white magic and black magic because white magic in this game is really more healing than holy and stone and all that kind of stuff that they're doing. Basically she just has magic. This game is not that complex like Final Fantasy 14 or like any other Final Fantasy where you have a plethora of white mage abilities and a plethora of black mage abilities and also are able to fight. I mean, that's why a red mage in a traditional Final Fantasy game, even going back to the original, is pretty good because they have their normal base attack. They can use, they can use black magic and they can use healing magic and white magic situationally. So they become a little bit more versatile. Whereas this is, yeah, okay, she's got the black mana, white mana thing, but it's pretty much just magic. So she can sword brave attack or she can do magic attack. I mean, it doesn't really ring true red mage to me. I mean, Onion Knight feels more like a red mage to me in this game, the way this game plays.
That's fair, yeah.
This game doesn't play like most Final Fantasy games. I mean, you just have to realize that. So
yeah, but she's based on the Final Fantasy 14 version of a red mage, and in that game, red mages are mostly damage dealers because, like you said, it's hard to incorporate that into different games.
Yeah, right.
So she had to be a DPS. The red mages had to be a DPS class in 14, and this is what they invented. And the problem I was saying is that, so have you guys played MMOs before? You guys have, right?
Yeah, plenty.
Yeah, you know how in MMOs there's rotations, right?
Yep.
So I was trying to say that rotations work in MMOs because that's what it's built around. And the raids are built around messing with your rotation and how much you can adapt. And I was saying in a turn-based game, having a 7-8 button rotation, taking up 7-8 turns in a game where most people are going to get 10 turns total in a fight or something, it really limits your options and takes away a lot of the fun. And I bring up like Noctis or Papalimo as counterexamples because Papalimo has a rotation, but it's very flexible. You don't have to follow it. You can do Astral Fire and Umbral Ice whenever the situation calls for it. Mix it up and you'll be fine. Same with Noctis. Like, he does certain things, but he can do it on his terms whenever he wants. Alisaie is forced to do her full thing, and there's no flexibility in it unless you want to perform suboptimally. And
we're not doing 2-hour long raid battles.
Exactly.
Either.
Yeah. Exactly. Right. So like
I was able to use all 5 of my bells in a 15-minute double item, thing today. So this is, Alisaie is not doing anything in this, even her event co-op. I mean, it just takes, 3 minutes, maybe 2 minutes. I mean, even less than that, 1.5 minutes to beat that boss in a co-op. So what's she going to do? 1 power HP, and Terra's already done 7 billion damage.
Right.
Like her 1 rotation done.
Right. So I'm saying, like, her rotation is too strict. It is too strict. If they made it so you didn't have to cast all of these in order, I think it would be a lot better. And they changed that in her Next Awakening. They really changed her up because they realized she was garbage. But so Your Highness says it's going to be a tricky thing if you slander or criticize any of these characters because they're all beloved by someone. And that's true. But every defense I've had, people speaking up against this criticism, is they're never really, they don't dispute what I've said. They're just mad that apparently that I've allegedly thrown hate at the Red Mage class or Final Fantasy 14. Or
well, can we just say how, because even in Japan, right? Japan doesn't have Alphanod or Minfilia, right?
Alphanod's actually coming out in a few days. I don't know if you know. Few days.
I'm just saying, why, really, Alisaie's rated higher than like Minfilia and Alphanod. I don't understand.
I think it was to plug the new expansion.
No, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Some people still play Final Fantasy 14, right?
When it came out, when Alisaie came out, it was when in Japan, or no, it's when FF14 first got the Red Mage class. So this was like a promotional release, So
that makes sense.
Yeah. That's why she came first. No, but I was saying everyone's arguing, oh, well, at least Alisaie is fun, or hey, I'm doing this in her event. But my argument is always, hey, take her out of the event. Try to fight some of the Chapter 11 bosses with her. Tell me how she does. Or no one argued she wasn't fun. It's just that she's not competitive. And if you can continue forward and do LCs and EX battles with her and get the score and show it to us, I'll be impressed. I'll eat my words. But every JP player has agreed with me. And I got a lot of information from them too. Everyone said that Alisaie was one of the worst characters they ever came out with on launch until level 70, which is a year away. So you can't really use level 70 as a defense.
You can tell when the featured character is not the best character to use in her co-op fight. Even Papalimo is more ideal in this fight.
Oh, I want to say you can tell how bad she is because they balance the EX fight and the boss around the event character. And this event was probably the easiest EX we've ever seen. Not only is it the easiest EX we've ever seen, but people are carrying a 1-1 Alisaie through it. No problem hitting the max score. So,
okay, that is sad. That's what it is. Sad.
I mean, like, her gimmick is so dumb. So, like, the boss of her event will throw up a white veil or a black veil to block her white or black magic. But when you can bring Terra to ignore that mechanic completely, or you can bring Vaughn to do the mechanic, like, she just doesn't bring anything to the table. She really, really doesn't. Like, even the event tailored to her can be done better by other characters. It's really sad.
All right. You guys want to move on what we're talking about co-op about and talk about what the co-op fight basically entails, besides an ugly dress clown?
Yeah, what's going on with this guy? That's my first issue.
What's his
So
backstory?
I could not find anything. I know most of the characters, like the NPCs in Final Fantasy 14. I know some of the story, but I've never played it.
Are you caught up on FF14? I don't know if this was taken from it, but I know he's in one of the 16-man raids. I think he's either a Crystal Tower boss or something.
So
he was in.
So, but here's my issue. So, this is apparently an undead. This is like a lich, right? This is an undead creature of some importance, right? It's not your normal skeleton. So he's like a lich or some kind of powerful undead being. He's wearing like LuLaRoe leggings, like like what I'm talking about. So like the people I go pick up my kids with at school. Like he's wearing like leggings, like the ladies like these days. He's got like slippers on. He's wearing a pirate shirt with like feathered sleeves.
Arr.
And a cape and like a pimp hat with a feather and a skull necklace. Like this guy's got like a lot going on. There's too much. Like pick a either you're gonna do like the LuLaRoe lazy Sunday kind of thing, or you're gonna do the pirate shirt kind of thing, or you're gonna be an evil skeleton, or you're gonna be a pimp. Like you can't be all of those things. Like it's too much. And I don't know. At some point, one of the times I was playing him, he changed his clothes.
Did he?
Yeah, like he like turned into a red cloak. He got a red cloak on.
I think that's the veils, right? The different.
No,
veils?
he's like, I'm gonna change my clothes real quick, guys, if you don't mind.
I'm Rubicant now.
Yeah, but okay, so let's compare because Rubicant's got some style. Okay, he knows when to show it and when to not, and he's a consistent outfit, right? I'm not saying it's not flamboyant. I'm not saying like where's that one like that one like really like feather skeleton guy from like 3, right?
Yeah,
that guy,
I know which one you're talking about.
That
I think wasn't that the one he was based on? That's what I thought it was.
He's got a consistent outfit. I feel like this guy is all over the place. Like pick a theme, like decide. Like he's like a 3-year-old picking out their clothes for the day, right? And then I feel bad, like
that you're hitting on a special kid.
Yeah, like I'm just abusing a child. Like
a child with special needs.
That's not okay. Like I'm just going to go in and like meteor you to death. Well, like just because you chose to wear some weird clothes, that's not nice.
I just loaded the fight just to take a good look at the guy here, and yeah, he's got. Yeah, I think he's like a Perut pimp. That's what I'm going with.
I don't. Yeah, either way. So yeah, bring Terra into the co-op, and then you win. So that's nice. In the level 100, is it a level 100 EX? Because it doesn't feel like a level 100 EX.
Yeah, it's a level 100 EX.
Yeah.
To be fair,
go ahead.
I think it's the first EX they ever made in Japan. So I think either it's undertuned. No, it's probably what it is. It's just undertuned, I think, and it'll bounce around because Noctis was supposed to come after Alisaie,
that is correct.
But he came early because of the anniversary. So, and I feel Noctis's EX was considerably more challenging than this for sure. Yes.
So I brought Terra, Vaughn, and Cloud, and I brought a friend Terra and a Freet because my Bahamut wasn't leveled up quite yet. So I used Cloud in the first 3 waves just to take down the mobs, and then I brought in friend Terra, and I got 125,000. The high score you need is 100,000. I did it in 31 turns. Then the next time I brought Terra, Vaughn, and Alisaie with a friend Terra, and I did it in 38 turns. So, and almost broke 100 just in that one run. No continues or anything, obviously, with that kind of score. So Yeah. Now, I mean, my Terra is fully awakened and has everything, and so she's really good. But still, it wasn't real hard. I don't even know what the mechanic is because Terra just meteored that stupid veil down,
I
right?
mean, like I said, it was such a shitty mechanic to make Alisaie look good. He put up a black veil. Then you have to use. Then he's weak to all of Alisaie's white magic, which is Earth, Wind, Holy.
But
Um,
only when the veil is up. So if you're not,
yes, yes,
if your powers are not aligned with the veil, it doesn't matter, right?
yes, yes.
Because you can't
Yeah,
use your powers out of order. So
yeah.
yeah,
Basically, so I'm saying like it was such a shitty thing, and I was arguing. I got a lot of complaints about my post, but basically someone was like, "What?" Because I said the event was stupid. Because I said the events are supposed to showcase what's special about the character, and I said for Alisaie, it just said, "Oh, hey, weak to one of your magics," and then like that even messes up her rotation, so you're not even learning a rotation. But someone's like, "Well, what about Avian Bird?" It was a simple mechanic, and I was like, "Well, Setzer was a very simple kit. He froze Brave, and he did a ton of ranged Brave Shave." The bird showed it off perfectly. This does nothing because again, you can override the mechanic with anyone, and it's a joke. I don't know. I hate this event. I'm not the only one. I was talking to Moyama, who's a mod on the Discord, and he was like, he's like, I don't have the will to do this event. It's just so stupid. It's just like 3 Terras spamming Meltdown in co-op for 30 fights until I get all my tokens.
that's
Yeah,
right. That's cool. What else do you need?
it's so bad. It's really bad. This was a bad event.
All right.
So there is a banner though.
Yeah, it was exactly good segue. That's exactly where I was going. So I
So
know.
would you say pull on this? Pull hard on this one.
I pull one on everything, but I think Mark got the Terra EX, right?
I did get now. I did one 5,000 gem pull, and I was going to do 10 tickets. I only ended up doing 8 tickets, and I got Alisaie's 35 and Terra's EX. Now I went on record as saying before that Terra's EX is not particularly good, and I will continue to say that because now I have it, and I can tell you it's not particularly good. So it's an extra attack, so that's nice.
How is it not good? We're listening. It's not good compared to the other EX, or it's just.
It's not good compared to her other abilities.
Okay. How's
It
that?
does less damage than Meltdown and Meteor. It's a 3-hit Brave plus HP attack with max Brave up, maybe, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
80% max Brave up.
I mean that's good. The 80% max Brave up is good, but I mean
think
it's basically just another ability.
I think the problem is it takes so long to charge.
It
I
is, and
think
it is a long
our
charging EX.
our
Yeah.
longest EX charge to date, and the problem is at least if it was fast, it would save you some ability charges. I'm sure,
If it was,
but it's not.
Cloud or Noctis,
But
yeah,
it's not.
Yeah, it is a very long charging EX.
It is considered. It's considered one of the worst EXs just because like Noctis and Cloud, their EXs define their kit. You could skip this EX and Terra would perform just almost as good. So you're missing nothing. That's the only but an EX is an EX. I will never say EX will always make a character better. That's what I'll say because it's an extra ability. But it's just not
it's more
necessary.
CP, it's extra ability, it's better stat.
Yeah, if anything, if nothing else, it's better stats. It's better.
Right, but that's really what you're getting. You're getting more Brave and more attack for Terra, and so that's what she needs. She needs more Brave and more attack, so that's good for her. But yeah, I mean, this should give you a little sense. There are plenty of times when her EX is active that I may choose Meteor over her EX.
Whereas with Noctis or Cloud, you wouldn't ask yourself.
I always use Meteor Rain, right? Unless there's some situation that I wouldn't. But, Cloud's Meteor Rain's doing so much damage. Noctis obviously relies on his EX, so you want to use it when it pops up. So, I mean, there are situational times that certainly you wouldn't necessarily. You might wait a turn to use their EX. But, there's a realization where, Meteor might do 25,000 damage and, whatever this dumb thing Riot Blade is going to do 16,000 or 18,000. So
yeah, the problem is the mechanic of Riot Blade. So again, this is very fitting because we're just talking about how for Alisaie, I feel like she's a bad character because they tried to stay too true to her original game. Same with Terra's EX. So Riot Blade was the limit break in FF6, and limit breaks back then were if you're at low HP, you know, when your
Yes.
character is crouching, then they pull it out. So for her EX, it's like the more damage she's taken, the more damage Riot Blade will do. The problem, that's a cool nod to FF6, but the problem is, one, Terra shouldn't. Well, in this game, you don't want to be
You
taking.
don't want to take damage.
Wait
Yeah.
a second there.
What?
The limit breaks were introduced in Final Fantasy VII.
6. Look it up.
I've played 6 countless.
Yeah, nobody realizes this because it's just like FF8. They had to be at low HP, and there was a small chance that they pulled it off if you did a regular attack at low HP. So many people play the game not realizing this because one, who does a regular attack in FF6, and you know, and who leaves their character at low HP. But I'll link you a little thing.
No, I'm looking
Yeah,
at it
it's-
now. 1 second.
Yeah, no, it's desperation
Well,
Yes,
attack.
desperation attacks. Yes.
I
So
have
that's
never
where
seen that, and I played
That's- yeah,
through
exactly,
Final Fantasy
right?
VI
Well,
That's
at
where
least 10, 12 times.
I know, right? And that's where Setzer's bloody card or red card comes
Red
from.
card comes from,
Yeah.
Well,
Oh yeah,
it wasn't a guaranteed.
yeah, it was like 10%. It's like FF8. FF8 had it too, right? Like when you're at low HP, you have a chance of activating your limit break.
Correct.
So
Yeah,
so
Riot,
anyway,
Riot Blade, Mirage Dive, Shadow Fang, Royal Shock, Tiger Break, Spinning Edge.
wow, Mark has them all
Red Card,
memorized. Yeah.
Moogle Rush, Punishing Meteor.
Wow, holy shit, you
Let's
have
go
them all
down.
memorized. And then all the FF6 characters are getting them for their EXs because Celis gets Spinning Edge and stuff. But the point is, it was a nod to her game, which is cool in concept, but in execution, it's fucking awful because one, like we said, you don't want to be taking HP damage, and Terra doesn't have the ability to do so. If it was like Cecil or Yuri who could hurt themselves on purpose and do it, great. But Terra, not only does she not have the ability to do so, but she also has the least HP and defense in the game. So if you're taking HP damage, she might as well be dead. So like this is a really bad mechanic for Terra because you cannot manipulate it, and it's just awful. Luckily, this is being addressed in JP right now because people have obviously the developers know they fucked up. The JP just announced recently that in February, EX weapons are getting extensions, whatever that means. But it means that they're modifying EX. They're going to release a way to modify EX weapons, which is good because, as we'll see continuing forward, some people got really amazing EXs like Cloud, and other people got really shit EXs like Terra throughout the entire year. It's very on and off.
I got neither, so there we go. So did you guys, Dropman, aka Like I Said, linked me this on Twitter. I don't know if you guys seen it. I'm gonna link it in show notes. It's a Twitch streamer, a deceived Twitch streamer that goes to pull on the Terra banner, and he says, you know what? The only thing I want is Alisaie 35 CP. That's the only thing I want. If I get Terra's EX, great. And then he goes on saying, I'm gonna only spend like X amount of tickets, like I think it's 20 or something. So he drops.
Yeah, this was Broadway saying, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So he drops the first ticket, gets Alisaie 35 CP. He's like, oh well, this is awesome, yay! They said, well, now the only thing I need is Terra's EX weapon. Drops the second ticket, gets Terra's EX weapon.
Oh my god!
And he just like, he's speechless. And I might have thrown my phone across the room when I saw that. No, I didn't, but I kind of wanted to.
Don't be jealous, Pierre. This is the most skippable banner because
I have no, but it's a karma thing. It's just and I'm so glad he actually filmed the whole thing because there's no way, even if he had taken like screenshots of the wins, there's no way no one could have believed it happened. Do you imagine like I would have to run the mats and I didn't think about it until right now, but I wonder what's you know the the, the the chance, the percent of chance to actually achieve this. So
I mean, like I said, you're fine. I know you pulled what, like 3, 4 times on this banner, which
3 times and all my tickets, but it's the sheer amount of 15 CP that I got for Alisaie that just yeah, I could have maxed that thing 2.5 times easily. So,
oof, oof.
but I'm
Well,
done
that's a lot of
pulling.
power stones.
Look,
I'm
it's
keeping myself for
karma.
selfie.
It's karma because everyone was saying in Discord that Broadway saying Shantoto is his favorite character, and I think he went way over 100k gems to get Shantoto EX. So like, it balanced out. Like he chased that like crazy and couldn't get it. So it'll be like you. You're gonna have all this bad luck, then you're gonna have a streak of good luck, better than ours on better banners. You know, like this is a good banner to strike out on. I think
Well,
you're not missing
I'm
much.
almost back at 10k jams, and I'm not pulling any longer. I've been reading about it. I know I have to keep my gems for selfie. I spent more than I wanted to spend on that banner, but I know I'm not going. I have to keep those gems. So, and I'm actually a little bit sad because I was starting to get a good pile of tickets, like, well, for me,
Yeah,
which was like 25 or something, and they're all gone. But
every event I think gives you 40 plus tickets if you do everything. So you should be okay.
what can I say? I'm an impulsive person.
Hey, it's perfectly okay. You just have to have that the attitude of whatever I get is good. Like, pull once or twice a banner and whatever you get. As long as you're not the guy that hoards like 100k gems to pull for one character and then you don't get him like a lot of people did on, then that's way worse, I think.
I wouldn't have a 100k jam. I mean, you can't have a 100k jam unless you never pulled or you bought gems. It's that it is what it is. So
You bought gems though, right? You bought Terra's costume and then some
yeah,
other costume, I think.
but I
Okay.
mean, besides the costumes and the kupo
Okay.
cards.
Yeah.
So
You could potentially save. Like this was a very skippable banner. You could have saved yourself like 15k gems right there.
yeah, but I had everything for Terra, and I'm a big fan of the Manoyo, so
That's fair.
I kind
That's
of
fair.
wanted to have, yeah, I give it a
That's
shot.
fair. Uh-huh.
And I actually fell into Lycaser's trap when he said, well, 2 pulls, it can't go that way forever. And say, huh, you wouldn't bet? So I pulled the third time because I
Oh my
couldn't
god.
believe I had. And then I said, you know what, that's enough. And then I spent all my tickets. But yeah, let's move on. What was next? Oh, yeah, I posted something on Reddit about what might have been 2 weeks ago. It was a meme, the blah 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 changed my mind meme. Basically, the picture I posted on Reddit was people who change the ability position on their support characters are the worst. Changed my mind. And funny enough, because I'm not like a good Reddit person. Usually, I don't hit the right nerves with people, but I actually uh, struck a good chord on that one because I got a lot of people to agree with me. Doing that meme has been on my mind for so many weeks now because, and especially with Cloud, every flipping time I go to do like the paralyzability cross slash, some jackass would switch the position with finishing touch or whatever, and instead of paralyzing the mob, I would just flip it in the air like just before his turn, so there would be no gain value. And yeah, I just went with it. But what's your opinion? Does it bother you or
What do you think, Mark?
I don't know why you would change the order of abilities.
There
I'm
was
so
one
mad.
explanation. There was one explanation that I thought made sense. Is that, let's say for Noctis, if you got Noctis, he's level 1, you haven't done anything with him, you pull on his banner, and you get his EX weapon, and you equip the weapon, the EX will go on the first spot. So I was willing to let that slide, although I've seen someone with an EX as the first ability once.
I've seen that too. Oh my god, fuck.
So I could have, but again, when you set up your support character, it for Cloud or a lot of characters, you have to go out of your way to mix them around. I mean, you
Yeah.
kind of have to be an asshole to do it just to piss people off.
Yeah.
And yeah, but it's always Cloud. I don't know why. It's always Cloud, and the two flipping abilities are moved around. I've never seen Terra with the abilities moved around. I've never seen Ico with the ability. It's always Cloud.
Whatever everyone knows, the best thing for Cloud is finishing touch, meteor rain, cross slash.
Yeah, I've seen every ability mixed around for Cloud once. I think it was Meteor Rain, then cross slash, then finishing touch. So no ability was in its right slot. But how do I feel? Like Pierre said, you have to go out of your way to fucking do this. And then like what's even worse is you can have a separate set for yourself and for your support character.
My point
so,
exactly.
Yeah. So you can set it up how you like it and then set it up the normal way. But this is like, okay, so the defense I've seen, because this is a very contested topic. I've seen this shit on Reddit all the time, and like the threads blow up and people fight all the time. And some people say, it's my character, I can set it how I want to. Or it just makes more sense for me that all characters have their Brave plus HP in one slot and whatever else in the other slot, which I think is stupid. But again, if you want to play that way, that's fine. But why force it on other people?
Okay, see, it might make more sense. I'm gonna go out of my way to say this, but it might make more sense for me to walk around my house naked. It doesn't mean when I go to your house I do the same thing.
Yes, I wanted to say that exact same fucking thing, Pierre, because it's
what you do.
I want to say the same thing. I feel so passionate about it.
What you do in your own game belongs to you. But for Christ's sake, when you share your gaming with the others, can you please respect them, put on some pants, and put your ability in the right order? That's all we're asking.
I fucking agree. And then Mark is laughing back here, but I agree with Pierre so strongly because that was the perfect analogy, Pierre.
Thank you.
Like, do what you want in your own game. That's perfect. But why by doing this?
Just, I have pets, so just for those listening on the Twitch, I'm not I'm not living by that rule.
By forcing this on other people, you are being such a self-centered, narcissistic dick because you're saying, my way, everyone must think like me, right? Like, everyone must like my way better. The way I think should be forced on other people. These are the people who, like, push their beliefs on other fucking people. Like, no, we don't want... It's ridiculous. It really is.
All right.
Fuck those people. Fuck those people.
All right, I think we've covered that left, right, and center.
This circles back to the fucking boosted only rooms in co-op that people have very strong opinions on as well.
I'm not using it anymore.
I think it's I don't use it. I just do just for fun.
Ever since we talked about it, I've stopped using it. I'm just doing it just for fun.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's the same concept where I don't want to get into it because then we're just gonna go crazy. But it's the same concept of, well, I'm not boosted, but I want boosted characters, so I'm gonna make I'm like, what the fuck kind of logic is that? You're such a dick.
I'm entitled to boosted characters.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
so. It's the guy that would walk into like the Noctis event, boosted characters only, but he's like a level 32 squall.
I know.
It's
It's
these
like
kind of people.
my
This
bell,
character.
my bells, my rules is the motto that people have been throwing around on Reddit. And you know what? Like, to a degree, fine. Your
What was
bells,
that?
your
My
rules.
bells, my rules. Yeah, that's
Bell,
pretty damn
Yeah.
my
right.
rules.
My
Yeah.
bells,
Oh,
my
and
rules.
then also Square Enix Joshua has said that they're collecting data on whether they want to start locking the rooms to, like, because right now the argument is, if Square really wanted to enforce it, they wouldn't let me do this, which I think is another stupid ass argument. But I know Square Enix Joshua, they said that they were collecting more data before they decided what they wanted to do.
I don't
And
understand why it wasn't locked to begin with, but there again.
well, I mean, I do, because splitting it into 2 rooms already divides the player base, so it's harder to get people playing together. I already don't like the 2 room system, but
And
like
wasn't it you
enforcing
that
this,
said that in Japan at some point, or maybe still, they had 4 rooms?
yeah, they still have 4 rooms in Japan. I don't
That's
know
crazy.
yeah, it's ridiculous. I think splitting the rooms is stupid. I honestly would prefer we go back to one whole goddamn queue. Well, I don't know. Maybe people are getting use out of the just for fun, because I see ridiculous combos like a Furion in this recent co-op, and I'm okay with that when I'm in just for fun. I was like, fuck it. Who cares? It's not like these co-ops are difficult anyway. It's gonna run exactly the same.
All right. Question of the week. Do you still have it, Andy? Mino?
Yeah.
Oh, do you have one, Mark? Go for it.
No. Well, the question of the week that we had is that we shared on Reddit here was, how much do you play Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia? So if you want to pull up your screen time, Pierre, you can see how much you've played this week. Let me jump on, because we did share this on Reddit.
Hang on. Sorry. Before you advance, I realize we've been ignoring chat too long.
No, please.
And people have been weighing in on this last topic, so we should probably address this. So God of Cloud said, I feel like it's not that hard to read, though. Y'all are forcing your normie placement when I use your supports. And then and then and then he says, you're saying the exact same thing, which is you have to conform to my standard of supports, which I feel like, like that's a valid argument, and we should address it. We can't just say our way is right, your way is wrong. Hold on, let me just keep reading though. And then Kree says, I think a lot of these people are not caring to check their supports. Okay, it's
Your
unrelated.
Highness has it right there. Muscle memory. These bad guys here, these Toms, when they're playing at 6 a.m. in the subway on my way to work, they're just cross-slashing without thinking. And when I realize I'm flipping that goddamn thing in the air, I'm mad. It's muscle memory. Thank you. That's exactly how it is.
That's fair. Okay, well, I'm gonna play devil's advocate and side with God of Cloud for a second, whereas, well, it's your fault for not reading. That is true.
Absolutely.
But I'm going to address the other thing God of Cloud said. He said, y'all are forcing your normie placement when I use your supports. Well, I'm going to say that I think when a game throws a default at you, that the vast majority are going to learn the default. And I think
forcing shit, it's how it is.
Yeah, like I think like Square Enix already enforced this is the default, and most people will learn it, because by like through the history of gaming and polling, the people who adjust their controls are in the minority. So like I feel like when a default is given, you should assume everyone is getting used to that default. And it's kind of like Pierre was just talking about Smash or any fighting game. It's like when people go to each other's houses or they go to tournaments to play these fighting games, the default controls are assumed. Like you can't go to someone's house and they set the default and you're just like, what the fuck is my character doing?
About what you're saying, when the Switch came out, there was an outrage because in the Xbox, in the PlayStation, the cancel button is on the right and the accept button is on the bottom. On the Switch, they said, hey, that is great. Everybody's so used to that. Let's flip them. And they switched the A and B button position on.
Wait, they did?
Yeah, they did. See, give me 1 sec, just 1 second.
Looks the same to me. But while I cover the dead air while Pierre is gone, to address God of Cloud, you're not wrong. It is people's fault for not reading, but I feel like it's common courtesy to assume it's like you live in a culture thing, right? Like you have your own ways of doing things, but when you live in a culture, you kind of accept that there is a, like you said, a normie way to do it. Normie being the most average, the most popular way. It's I don't know. You kind of accept it, and you have a valid complaint. You should be able to play how you want. Just know that, like we said, you have to go out of your way to change the support, though, because it defaults to one way. Like, wouldn't it be even less work for you to just upload the default configuration to your support and let other people pull from that, instead of like going out of your way to change it because most people aren't playing that way? That's all I'm gonna say about it. But
All
I
right.
will
Yeah,
say,
I think we've really covered that more than it needed to be. Talking about the amount of time we're spending on DFFOO, actually, ever since we had that conversation 2 weeks ago, I've actually gone really down on my screen time because I thought I was starting to have a little bit of a problem here.
really, I don't think it's that bad. It's like Mark said. I think the two of us, we just leave it running on auto at work, so we rack up a ton.
Well, here, let me read a couple comments from the Reddit post. We had a few. So the Only Awakened said, clears everything in the first 2 days of an event so I can have the rest of the week free to feel shame for my pulls or regrets for not pulling. Yeah, that's right. I farm a lot of artifacts, chasing elusive double orange passives. I've heard that you can have those. So I spend 10 to 15 hours a week, maybe going up to 25 hours depending. Razzie LOL says, I spend most of my days free time playing. I think I might be a tad addicted. I'm now starting to play GP as well as GL. Not enough hours in the day. Yeah. Inglorious Paladin says, I play way too much and love it. Started playing around July during the Aerith and Lion events and haven't missed a day playing yet. Fortunate enough that I get about 3 hours of downtime at my job. Like, doing what? Do you get 3 hours of down? Anyway, 3 hours
judgmental much, Mark?
Like, what? 3 hours of downtime. I get a nap every day at my job. My work pays for it. Where you live in Sweden? What?
Dude, sorry, a little off tangent. I used to raid in an MMO with a guild leader who worked hotel IT.
Yes, yep.
Overnight. Yep. And they literally played MMOs and raided overnight because they just had so much damage.
No doubt. Yeah. I've known that. Yeah. So they say my time in the game has decreased a bit now since I've cleared all the content and my characters are leveled. So I spend time reading up on Reddit and YouTube, thinking about starting the JP account. Yeah. So thank you guys. 7. I'll just do 1 or 2 more. 7 with 2 N, 7, then the letter 7 and 7. 7 and 7. Okay, I get it. 7 and 7. That's nice. Empty stamina when I wake up, 5 to 10 minutes, something like that. Empty stamina again, and use up my 5 bells before bed, 30 minutes, roughly an hour for weekdays. Weekends, I go ham if there's new content and a new character level up, so that can be a lot of hours. Spent last weekend mindlessly grinding characters from 50 to 60 while watching YouTube. And then NJ Fox says 38 hours, 41 minutes in the last 7 days.
My time's definitely decreasing because these events have been getting earlier. Also, I want to talk about Pierre's fucking link after, by the way.
Yeah, so mine mine is well, today it was 2.5 hours today because I was catching up on stuff for the show. But yeah, over the last I don't even know how that's possible. I don't think I've even had 2.5 hours. I must have been just doing stuff on while I was doing it. 8.5 hours this last 7 days. So on Opera Omnia, so about an hour a day.
Okay, so and then me, I've been playing less and less because the events have been getting easier. Honestly, I know they'll toughen up, but GL schedule is so good that we get an event every 3 days now that I don't feel bored at all. If they can somehow keep this up, I am locked in for life. Like, if I only have to check my fucking phone once every 3 days, because I try to usually knock the event out within the first day or two, and then, like the first guy said, you know, relax until the next thing comes out. Like, I'm already done with the co-op here, and it was unusually fast. It's usually not this fast. I think it's all the Terras running out there killing things so fast, but I just popped one book and I got everything. But if they manage to hold this pace, it'll be a miracle. I know it can't be possible forever because Japan's schedule is much slower than we are. And once we catch up or get close, I'm sure we'll slow down too. But the fact that there is something to do every 3 to 4 days is amazing. I love this game right now. And to address Pierre's link, Pierre. So, I mean, the SNES had the same control scheme, I think. A was to the right and B was at the bottom. Nintendo's always been the same, right? I want to say it's only the PlayStation where X is accept.
Well, the link, I posted a link to a Control-Alt-Delete web comic done by my good friend Tim Buckley that he had done a strip about the change, the button position on the Switch. I'll have it in the show notes as well. The point is still valid. I mean, the market leaders are Sony. Well, before the Switch, the market leaders were Sony and Microsoft. Nintendo had failed twice with the Wii and the Wii U, and I don't know. I was just pulling stuff here. So.
Yeah. So like Chris said, he said Microsoft and Sony only switched up the controls outside of Japan.
That's what I just
read.
read.
Some fucking reason. Yeah, because for some fucking reason, okay, so it started with a PlayStation. So this is what's confusing. I don't know why the fuck they did this with the PlayStation, but I remember growing up with this. So in Japan, like if you have a PlayStation controller in front of you, circle is where A is on the Switch and X is where B is. And it makes sense because circle should be accept and X should be cancel.
Yep.
But for some reason in the US and outside of Japan, they switched those. I don't know why. But now on the PlayStation, X is accept for Westerners and circle is cancel. And that makes no fucking sense. So, like, in Japan, it's always been the same. Only outside of Japan did they change it. And now they're trying to change it back, to make it universal, which I understand. It's like the metric system. As somebody who lives in the US, and Mark can back this up, the metric system, the US should have fucking adopted that by now. But they refuse because they're too stubborn. Like, we should all be on the same goddamn page. And which is what the video game controllers are doing. Like, we should all be on the same page now. But so I'm saying, like, it should be one way, but it's the localization companies that dropped the ball on that and trained us wrong. I think.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, so you're right. It is taking some relearning, but this is the way it always should have been, I think, Pierre.
All right. So next week
I saw Pierre's comment.
Next week we're going to address Mitron's question that was about when we say that we should pull on certain characters because they'll be good. He wants to know more about what's the thought process on he's going to be good for a long time. So we'll address that next week. Don't forget that in 3 days there's a Kral event coming. Kral's last chapter. Hopefully it's going to be a bit of a challenge for everyone. There's probably going to be a half-price banner that goes with it. And then do we know who we're getting after that? Because it's not on the CDB yet. Do we have an idea?
No, we're getting a big maintenance next Wednesday. So we're going to have our work cut out for us. Because
hopefully selfie.
Yeah, because the schedule is going to drop right on that Wednesday, so a day before our next show.
And Awakening number 3?
Yeah, that's the hope. We'll see.
Really?
So,
wow, they're coming along very quickly.
That's the hope. That's the hope. So Mark is the outline guy. So good luck, Mark, because we're probably going to get all that dropped on us a day before the show, and you're going to have to
Woohoo!
A lot to talk about, though, I'm sure, next episode when we get the fresh schedule up.
Sounds
All
good.
right. Any parting wisdom before we wrap this one up, gentlemen?
Be careful how much coffee you drink before
Yes.
you podcast.
Yeah. If you're listening to the recording of this, or if you're on Twitch right now, leave your feedback. Maybe me drinking a lot of coffee to prepare for this show was a detriment, because as people are saying, I'm a lot more forceful this show. So, maybe leave the feedback and I won't do this next time.
It's good. Might have dropped
Well,
a
I think
bomb time or
Alisaie does
two
that
more
to
than usual,
everybody.
but you
You
were definitely alive. That's why we like you. That's why.
I had a long week. I needed this coffee or I was going to pass out for this show.
It's good. It was definitely good entertainment. There's no denying that.
Hey, Pierre brought it too. I feel like Pierre was very passionate about the whole ability switching on supports.
Yeah, absolutely. No,
and,
absolutely.
And Mark was like laughing his head off the whole time in the background. So,
Why I'm here.
We had a good time. I enjoyed this week's show, but again, that could just be the coffee again. So
it's coffee speaking. No, it was a good show. Again, this was episode number 33, recorded on December 13, 2018. If you have any question, comments, feedback, apple pie recipe, please send them to kupo@tccpodcast.com or throughout all of our different social medias, which are available at tccpodcast.com. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can leave a comment right below the video, and we always read those. We record live every Thursday on twitch.tv/The Crystal Chronicles. It's always, we record live at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Just might be a bit of useful information. If there's anything else, send an email or give us a shout, and we'll definitely be there next week. So thank you for listening to this episode, and we'll see you next week. So have a good one.